Stop. That's the first command I'm giving you. Stop pretending the world rewards fairness. Stop pretending good intentions are enough. Stop believing that kindness alone will make you powerful. If you want real dominance, if you want to rise above the crowd, you need to understand something. The game of life is not fair. It never has been. And no one wrote about this truth more ruthlessly than Niccolò Machiavelli. Machiavelli understood the brutal nature of human beings. He knew people are selfish, short-sighted, and weak. He knew leaders fall when they believe in fantasy. And he knew that those who win because they are willing to do what others won't. That's why his name is still feared. To be Machiavellian means to be calculated, cunning, and unafraid of using dark strategies. So today, I'm handing you the lesson straight from his playbook. This is about more than history. This is about mindset. This is about power. The kind of power that separates the strong from the weak. The kind of power that makes people respect you, fear you, and follow you. And the first lesson is brutal but freeing. Do not play fair when the game itself is crooked. Think about it. From politics, to business, to relationships, the rules are already stacked. The people who rise aren't necessarily the kindest or the most deserving. They are the most strategic. They know when to smile and when to strike. They know when to pretend to care and when to cut a throat. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Why? Because love is fragile. Love can vanish when circumstances change. But fear? Fear locks people into place. Fear makes them hesitate before betraying you. Fear keeps them from challenging you openly. Let me give you an example. In war, the general who hesitates to use harsh discipline loses his army. The men under him grow sloppy. They disobey. But the general who enforces fear, who shows no tolerance for weakness, commands loyalty. The soldiers may not like him, but they obey. And obedience wins battles. Translate that into modern life. At work, in negotiations, in competition, stop seeking approval. Approval is cheap. Fear, respect, and leverage are priceless. Don't beg for recognition. Take control. Don't wait for opportunities. Seize them. That's what Machiavelli would tell you. Fortune favors the bold, but only if the bold are ruthless enough to strike when others hesitate. Here's another truth. Fairness is often just a disguise for weakness. Weak men hide behind the idea of fairness because they're afraid to confront reality. They're afraid of conflict, afraid of ambition, afraid of pushing forward. If you cling to fairness, you will get trampled by someone who doesn't. Machiavelli taught that morality and power rarely align. You don't have to be cruel without reason, but you do have to be willing to step into the shadows. Smile when it suits you. Lie when it protects you. Cut ties when it benefits you. The world respects results, not excuses. And that brings us to the core principle. Stop playing fair, start playing smart. Here's how you apply it right now. Stop seeking validation. Don't waste time proving yourself to people who don't matter. Be unpredictable. If people can read your moves, they can control you. Keep them guessing. Don't fear judgment. They will call you ruthless, arrogant, or cold. Let them. The lion doesn't care what the sheep think. Think in terms of power. Every decision should strengthen your position, your influence, your leverage. These aren't just tactics, they're survival skills. Weakness is punished. Naivety is exploited. Only strength endures. So the question is, will you keep playing by rules designed to keep you small? Or will you sharpen yourself, embrace Machiavelli's lessons, and step into the arena with teeth bared? Because this is only the beginning. We're going deeper. We're going to uncover Machiavelli's darkest power lessons. The ones polite society doesn't want you to hear. The ones that separate predators from prey. Stay with me, because the next lesson will challenge everything you were taught about honesty, loyalty, and reputation. And once you see it, you'll never look at power the same way again. Listen closely. This is where men get exposed. You've been taught since childhood to always tell the truth, to always be loyal, to always keep your word. Sounds noble, right? But Machiavelli would laugh at that advice. He understood the harsh reality. Men who cling to blind honesty and blind loyalty get used, manipulated, and discarded. Here's Machiavelli's lesson. Appear virtuous, but don't be enslaved by virtue. What does that mean? It means you wear the mask of honesty, but you reserve the right to deceive. You project loyalty, but you reserve the right to betray. You speak of fairness, but behind the curtain, you play to win. This isn't hypocrisy, it's strategy. Let me paint it clear. If you reveal every truth, if you're transparent about every move, you make yourself predictable. Predictability is weakness. It gives your enemies the blueprint to destroy you. That's why Machiavelli said rulers should not feel bound to keep promises when it puts them at a disadvantage. People break promises every day. Why chain yourself to an ideal no one else respects? In business, men who refuse to bend, who cling to doing everything the right way, end up working for the ones who bend the rules. In war, a general who is too loyal to old alliances ends up stabbed in the back by his so-called friends. And in life, a man who puts loyalty above self-preservation becomes a pawn in someone else's game. You must be willing to shift, to adapt, to lie when truth destroys your leverage, to walk away when loyalty endangers your survival. That doesn't mean you should lie recklessly or betray constantly, because then you become untrustworthy and useless. It means you use deception surgically. You wield it like a blade, only when necessary. Here's the paradox. People want to believe in your honesty. They want to see you as trustworthy. Use that. Speak with conviction. Deliver your words with strength. Make promises if they strengthen your position. But always know, deep down, you are free from those chains. You answer to results, not to fairy tales. Machiavelli compared a ruler to two animals, the lion and the fox. The lion is raw strength. The fox is cunning. The lion alone gets trapped. The fox alone gets crushed. But together, they are unstoppable. This is the balance you must master: strength and deception, loyalty and betrayal, honesty and lies. So ask yourself, are you only the lion? Loud, bold, but easy to predict? Or are you only the fox? Clever, sly, but too weak to stand when challenged? Or will you combine both, becoming the kind of man who can dominate in any arena? Let me give you a hard truth. You don't have to be the most talented, the most skilled, or even the most intelligent to win. You just have to be the man who understands the game better than anyone else. And the game is deception. When you sit across the table from your competitor, your rival, your enemy, remember, they're lying to you. They're hiding something. They're strategizing against you. If you cling to total honesty, you've already lost. So stop worshiping truth for truth's sake. Worship results. Worship power. Use honesty when it benefits you. Use lies when it protects you. That's not immoral. That's survival. And survival is what Machiavelli was all about. Now, let's talk about reputation. Reputation is the currency of power. But here's the dangerous trap. Too many men waste their lives defending every detail of their reputation, afraid of every insult, terrified of every whisper behind their backs. That's weakness. Machiavelli knew something deeper. Reputation isn't about truth. It's about perception. The world doesn't care who you really are. They care about the mask you present. They care about the image you project. And here's the key. You don't have to actually be virtuous. You only have to look virtuous. Be generous when eyes are watching. Be merciful when it strengthens your image. Be ruthless when no one can see. That way, the world praises your name while your enemies bleed in silence. This is what men forget. You don't control the truth, but you can control the narrative. You can let people believe you're honorable, while behind the scenes you move with pure strategy. That's why leaders build myths about themselves. Myths are more powerful than facts. Think of great conquerors, great businessmen, great kings. They all carefully crafted how they were seen. They didn't waste time defending themselves against every critic. They knew critics die, but legends last. So here's your lesson. Stop explaining yourself. Stop defending yourself. Stop trying to prove who you are. Build an image so strong that explanations become unnecessary. If they see you as dominant, powerful, ruthless, they will treat you that way. But here's the warning. Never let your real weaknesses show. If people smell desperation, if they see your cracks, they'll exploit them. Guard your vulnerabilities. Hide them behind strength. Always project control. The ruthless truth is this: people are sheep. They believe what they see repeated. They believe confidence over fact. They believe strength over accuracy. So give them what they crave. And when your enemies gossip, when they whisper lies about you, don't fight them directly. Make their words irrelevant by crushing them with results. Machiavelli knew this. Victory silences doubt. Power erases criticism. So carry yourself with the presence of a man who doesn't ask for respect. He commands it. Build your reputation as a wall. Then move ruthlessly behind that wall, unseen, unstoppable. Now let's address weakness. This one will sting, because it demands a brutal kind of honesty with yourself. Machiavelli's principle: weakness invites attack. Always. Mercy without strength is weakness. Kindness without control is weakness. Fairness without leverage is weakness. And weakness, in the game of power, is blood in the water. It attracts sharks. You've seen it in schoolyards, in workplaces, in politics. The weak man is mocked, pushed aside, ignored. The strong man, whether liked or hated, gets attention, respect, and influence. Why? Because he projects dominance. If you want to rise, you must harden yourself. Train your mind to endure discomfort. Train your body to radiate strength. Train your words to carry authority. Machiavelli would say, better to be harsh and feared than gentle and ignored. Weakness doesn't just hurt you, it empowers your enemies. Every time you show hesitation, every time you reveal doubt, you give others a weapon to use against you. That's why Machiavelli advised rulers to keep their intentions hidden, to never reveal their hand until it was too late for opposition to stop them. So eliminate the habits of weakness. Stop apologizing unnecessarily. Stop begging for approval. Stop waiting for permission. Speak directly. Move decisively. Act with confidence, even when you feel uncertain. The appearance of strength is often as valuable as the reality of strength. This is not about cruelty for its own sake. It's about survival. It's about commanding space in a world that punishes hesitation. Weakness is death. Strength is life. And strength, in Machiavelli's world, isn't just physical, it's psychological. The man with iron self-control, who doesn't flinch under pressure, is feared more than any brute with muscles. Remember this: the world tests you constantly. Every interaction is a power play. If you walk in with weakness, you'll get crushed. If you walk in with power, you'll own the room. Here's another brutal lesson: fortune favors the ruthless. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is like a woman. It must be dominated, taken, seized with boldness. That means you cannot sit back and wait for opportunity. You cannot wait for luck. You must strike. You must take risks. You must be willing to gamble where others hesitate. Most men waste their lives waiting for the right time. They wait for certainty. They wait for permission. And by the time they move, the opportunity is gone. The ruthless man? He moves first. He takes control. He forces luck to bend to him. In business, this means making bold moves while competitors hesitate. In leadership, it means taking decisive action while others drown in debate. In life, it means seizing every chance to advance, even if it means stepping on toes. Machiavelli didn't respect timidity. He respected force. He respected aggression. He respected the man who imposed his will on the world instead of sitting back as a spectator. So here's the mindset: don't wait. Dominate. Stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what if I crush it while everyone else is still waiting? That's how ruthless men rise. Now we finish with the ultimate lesson. Machiavelli's wisdom boils down to this: power is everything. Without power, your morals mean nothing. Without power, your dreams are dust. Without power, you are prey. Power protects you. Power feeds you. Power builds your legacy. And the path to power is not clean, not fair, not gentle. It's ruthless. It's dark. It's bloody. But it's real. The weak will call you cold. The naive will call you evil. But when the dust settles, only power remains. The world bows to the strong. The world obeys the ruthless. So take this with you. Stop playing fair. Start playing to win. Stop clinging to ideals that keep you small. Start embracing strategies that make you unstoppable. Machiavelli's darkest power lessons are not comfortable, but they are true. Be feared when you cannot be loved. Be cunning when strength is not enough. Be ruthless when fairness holds you back. Build your reputation like armor. Hide your weaknesses like secrets. Strike boldly, seize fortune, and carve your own path. The world belongs to the ruthless. And now, you know how to join them. Let's get real. You can study Machiavelli all day, but if you don't know how to apply his lessons to the modern world, it's useless. So let's talk about business. In the corporate jungle, fairness is a lie. Promotions don't always go to the hardest workers. Contracts don't always go to the most deserving bidders. Success doesn't always go to the most talented. Who wins? the one who understands leverage, timing, and perception. Take Steve Jobs. Love him or hate him, he mastered Machiavellian strategy. He built an aura of genius, even when Apple was crumbling in the 90s. He manipulated perception. He controlled narrative. And when he came back, he didn't play fair. He dominated the industry with bold moves, cutting competitors down with precision. That's Machiavellian in action. Here's how you use it at your level. Stop thinking your boss, your coworkers, your rivals will reward you out of kindness. They won't. Instead, position yourself. Build relationships strategically. Take credit for your wins loudly. Minimize your losses quietly. Appear reliable, appear loyal, but always keep one eye on your next move. And don't confuse ruthlessness with recklessness. Machiavelli was clear. Cruelty is useful only when it serves a purpose. That means every sharp move you make must strengthen your position. No wasted battles. No emotional outbursts. Cold, calculated strikes only. In today's world, that means learning how to negotiate without emotion. Learning how to fire without hesitation. Learning how to cut partnerships when they no longer serve you. Too many men stay loyal to sinking ships. Don't be one of them. Remember this: your career, your business, your reputation, they are battlefields. You either control the game or you get played. Choose which side you're on. Now let's step into politics and leadership. This is where Machiavelli's lessons were born, and they apply now more than ever. Look at history. Julius Caesar didn't play fair. He crossed the Rubicon, defied the Senate, and seized power. Alexander the Great didn't play fair. He crushed rivals before they had the chance to grow strong. Even modern politicians rise not through fairness, but through perception management, alliances, and ruthless elimination of threats. Machiavelli warned rulers to crush enemies completely. Why? Because leaving an enemy alive gives them time to regroup, to plot revenge. How many leaders ignored this and fell because of mercy? Countless. Power is not maintained through softness. It's maintained through decisive action. Apply this to leadership today. If you're in charge, don't tolerate open defiance. If someone undermines you, handle it swiftly and visibly. Don't allow cracks in your authority. People respect leaders who enforce discipline. They exploit leaders who beg for obedience. But here's the nuance. You don't rule by terror alone. You balance it with rewards, with calculated generosity. Keep the people dependent on you, but also convinced that following you benefits them. This is classic Machiavelli. Fear balanced with reward, control balanced with illusion. In leadership, as in politics, image is everything. Appear decisive. Appear unshakable. Even when you're uncertain, project confidence. Machiavelli said it's better to appear virtuous than to actually be virtuous. In politics, appearing strong matters more than being right. Take this into your own life. Whether you lead a team, a business, or even your household, project authority. Do not waver publicly. Keep your doubts private. Once people sense hesitation, they test you. Once they test you, you lose control. So remember, leadership is not about fairness. It's about control, image, and decisive action. Rule like Caesar, not like a beggar. Let's talk about relationships. Yes, even here Machiavelli applies. Because human nature doesn't change. People will use you if you're weak. They'll test you if you're passive. They'll manipulate you if you're desperate. Fairness means nothing in the raw psychology of attraction, friendship, or loyalty. Machiavelli would tell you, never make yourself too available. Never give away your power. People value what they have to fight for. They take for granted what comes easily. That means in relationships, romantic, business, or personal, you must set the tone. You must control the frame. Don't reveal all of yourself too quickly. Keep mystery. Keep leverage. Keep options. When you appear too eager, too desperate, too open, you lose power. Look at kings and leaders throughout history. They gave rewards sparingly. They made their followers work for approval. That's why their approval meant something. Do the same in your life. Make your attention valuable. Make your time scarce. Make your approval something people strive to earn. And when betrayal happens, as it always does, don't waste time begging or forgiving endlessly. Machiavelli was clear. Betrayal should be met with decisive action. Cut them off. Remove them. Do not let loyalty to the wrong people drain you of power. In relationships, as in war, boundaries are everything. A man without boundaries is a man waiting to be destroyed. Let's dive into strategy itself. Machiavelli wasn't just about brute power. He was about foresight. His lesson: the wise man prepares long before the crisis. Too many men live reactively. They wait for problems, then scramble for solutions. That's weakness. That's chaos. The Machiavellian man prepares silently, patiently, while others sleep. So when crisis strikes, he already holds the upper hand. This means you must always think ahead. In your career, anticipate your competitor's next move. In your finances, prepare for downturns while others celebrate blindly. In your personal life, plan your exits before you need them. Machiavelli compared fortune to a river that floods unpredictably. The fool builds nothing until it's too late. The wise man builds dams, channels, and defenses in advance. You cannot predict everything, but you can prepare for most. Strategy is the difference between a king and a pawn. The king looks 5 moves ahead. The pawn looks only at the square in front of him. Which one are you? So here's the challenge. Start thinking in layers. Don't just react. Plan. Don't just live day to day. Map your battles months, years in advance. And when the time comes, unleash your moves ruthlessly. That's how power is won. Let's return to the lion and the fox. We touched on it earlier, but it deserves more depth. This duality is the secret to lasting power. The lion represents force, dominance, raw strength. The fox represents cunning, deception, and strategy. To rule, you must be both. If you rely only on strength, smarter men outmaneuver you. If you rely only on cunning, stronger men crush you. History proves this. Napoleon was a lion and a fox, until his arrogance made him forget strategy. He overextended, and the fox in him died. His empire followed. On the other hand, cunning leaders without strength often ended up assassinated, abandoned, or forgotten. Balance is survival. So, in your own life, are you training both sides? Do you project strength when necessary? Do you use cunning when strength isn't enough? Or are you lopsided, too strong to scheme, or too sly to fight? Your goal is mastery of both. When people see you, they should wonder, is he the lion? Is he the fox? Or both? That uncertainty keeps them cautious. And that caution is power. Now we close with the ultimate charge. You've heard the lessons. Stop playing fair. Appear virtuous but strike when needed. Guard your reputation. Eliminate weakness. Seize fortune. Rule with both lion and fox. But here's the question. Will you actually live it? Or will you go back to being soft, fair, predictable, and weak? The world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards boldness. It rewards ruthlessness. It rewards the man who applies these lessons unapologetically. So here's your mission. Start today. Stop begging for fairness. Start demanding results. Stop explaining yourself. Start projecting strength. Stop fearing judgment. Start acting with ruthless purpose. Because in the end, Machiavelli wasn't writing for dreamers. He was writing for rulers. And if you want to rule your life, your career, your destiny, you must embrace the darkness, the strategy, the cunning, and the strength. The choice is simple. Play fair and stay average. Or stop playing fair, be ruthless, and claim the power that weak men will never touch. The time is now.